All right, welcome back to a very special golf subpar, sleaze. This one, we've been waiting a while for this one, but we finally got the number one player in all the world, Scottie Scheffler, joining us on this week's subpar.
Good golf player.
Good golfer.
Plays some
Probably
good
the best
golf.
we've ever had.
Hits the ball well from what I've seen. He has a future in the game. But yeah, we've been waiting on this one. You know, there's been times we were going to have it. Finally get a little off season for the kid. He's got some downtime and finally got to make it happen.
Yeah, and we're doing these segments a little early because you are heading to Korea to also represent the United States of America in the Bridges Cup.
Me and Scotty, we know what it's like to put this country on our back. Yeah, as you listen to this, I will be in Korea battling Team Europe, or the internationals, I should say, alongside Team USA. It's going to be war. They got a good team. They loaded up with some Walker Cuppers. They got some good players, so we're going to have to go play. Hopefully, they'll be getting up. We'll be doing some updates on social media and stuff, but hopefully bring that thing back, just like the President's Cup boys did. You know what I mean? Similar type of pressure, dude. It's as big as it gets. The eyes of the world are upon us. I don't take it lightly.
It's
big
responsibility. It's going to be really fun to watch. I'm sure dozens and dozens will tune in.
Yeah, at least.
But go over there. Your man Drew Kittleson's going. Yeah. Ben Hayes, led by Captain Jeff Fujimoto.
Captain Jeff, we really got to show up for Captain Jeff. Got a few other former collegiate players really good. Taylor Wood from USC. Petey Tomasulo.
The Reverend.
New amateur, the Reverend Petey Tomasulo from the Cowboys. We got some guys from the South, Northeast. We got a whole squad, and we're going to go give them hell. Tell you that.
It's going to be 3 days?
3 days. Line them up.
We'll go get them.
Line them up, dude. Yeah. But this is it.
Like I said,
this is what you train for.
This episode is very special. And obviously, when you got the number one player in the world in the building, you want to look good. So we're rocking our RLX gear in their new True Stay collar from the RLX Fall 2024 collection. Blend of style and functionality, perfect for both the golf course and everyday wear. And obviously, Scottie Scheffler will be wearing it in 2025 because they are the official outfitter of the United States Ryder Cup team and partner of the AJGA. Their ambassadors are Billy Horschel, Davis Love III, Sean Foley, Smiley Kaufman, Tom Watson, and Zach Johnson, among others. The RLX collection is available in select Ralph Lauren stores, exclusive private clubs and resorts, and online at ralphlauren.com. All right, well, like we said, we've got the number one player in the world, Scottie Scheffler. He's an Olympic gold medal. He's a 13-time winner on the PGA Tour, 2-time major champion, and obviously a part of a winning Ryder Cup team at Whistling Straits.
You like his chances to be at Bethpage?
He's number 2 on the list right now, but I think he's going to get in there.
He can't go to sleep. He actually probably could not play until next year's Ryder Cup, and he might still qualify on points. But funny you mentioned the Ryder Cup. Really cool offer for our listeners. If you're a golf fan out there and you've ever thought about going to a Ryder Cup on U.S. soil, I would argue this may be the one to go to. It's going to be outstanding out there. And if you do it, partner with our guys at On Location. They are the official travel package provider of the PGA of America and the Ryder Cup. When you book with them, you get official Ryder Cup Plus access, premium accommodations and hospitality, special experiences tailored for Ryder Cup fans, and they do this thing first class. If you're going to do this, it's tough to get tickets. It's tough to get accommodations. It's hard. Go with On Location.
Yep, been a partner of the PGA Championship and the Ryder Cup since 2016, and we got a very special offer for you Subpar listeners. You can save 10% with the code Subpar. That's one word, Subpar. Go to onlocationexp.com/Subpar. When you go to checkout, use that code Subpar. You'll get 10% off whether you want daily, full travel packages, whatever you want. They've got it. 10% off. Once again, onlocationexp.com/Subpar. We hope to see you up at the Ryder Cup at Bethpage. It is going to be wild. All right, well, a guy we know is going to be there. Scottie Scheffler joins us on Subpar.
All right, folks. We got a really good golfer joining us here today. He's won a lot of things. 13 wins on tour, 2 green jackets. He's got an Olympic gold medal, and not to mention part ownership of the Texas Ranchers pickleball team. Scottie Scheffler in the house. How are we doing, Scottie?
What's going on? How are y'all?
Good. How's the ownership of the Ranchers going thus far?
I think it's going pretty good. I would definitely say I own a very, very small fraction of the team, and I'm a very passive owner. So, but as far as I hear, they're doing great.
You're like Jay-Z. Yeah.
Sure, something like
with
that.
The Nets, yeah.
But it's off season right now, and I know you love your pickleball. You spending more time playing golf or pickleball right now?
In the last week and a half, I've played. I've actually played pickleball twice. It's first. I think those are the second and third times I've played since Bennett was born. So I've definitely slowed down quite a bit. Last off season looked a bit different, but still get out there and play a little bit.
So what's like an average day right now for you at home? Just chilling, because I know you're not playing for quite some time.
Yeah, I don't play again till end of November, December. I mean, honestly, I don't really know. Last week we were kind of just chilling at home, just catching up on a lot of the random stuff that I don't do throughout the year, just random sponsor stuff, random stuff at home, catching up with people here at home, just little random stuff. That's pretty much it. It's not very exciting.
Maybe catch up on some text messages.
Yeah, get back to those ones from May.
I try.
My favorite one was I texted you happy birthday, and like 4 months later, you said thank you.
Thanks, suck.
Yeah, I'm trying hard to get better at using my phone to respond to people, but I haven't really improved very much.
Don't try too hard, dude. I think you got it figured out pretty good. Any Texas football games in your future while you got a little downtime? Good time to go to Austin.
Yeah, I think we're going to go. I plan on going to the game this weekend, Texas OU, and then we'll head down. We got a lot of guys going down for the Georgia game next weekend, so do both of those. But other than that, I think that'll probably be it for the year.
That's a tough back-to-back weeks.
Georgia going to be a nice one. Any of the Georgia PGA guys coming out for that one?
I'm not sure. I felt like Russell may have floated the idea, but I don't know if he confirmed anything. It's going to be a pretty crazy weekend down there. I think F1's going to be down there.
Oh God,
that weekend, and then Texas, Georgia. So it could be a bit of a mess.
I want to, because I did hear on Pardon My Take, you do like your sports betting a little bit. Texas is 14.5-point favorites. That seems like a lot over a rival.
Yeah, that seems like a bunch of points. That's one of those games you never really know what's going to happen. I mean, I think they're going to win, and Texas is really, really good this year. But with those rivalry games, you just never know what's going to happen. A lot of points.
Quinn's back in the house, though.
Yep. Well, it's not like his backup sucked.
You have a nice, you have a nice parachute in case anything happens to him, though.
Yeah.
Going forward.
Yeah. Very nice.
Let's talk a little golf here. I've obviously known you for a very, very long time, but for you, we all, figure out we're good at something at some point in our life. When did you figure out I'm really good at this game?
I've got that question before. I don't really remember having one of those like aha moments where I was like, oh man, I'm pretty good at this. I was kind of like just a decent, I was a good junior player. I was a good amateur player. And then I was a pretty good college player. And I kind of just kept making the steps of trying to get a little bit better. And I never really thought I was that great. I just always wanted to play on the PGA Tour. I just never really thought about how good I was. I was just trying to get a little bit better at a time. And I grew up watching so many of you guys. I felt like that was so motivating for me because you guys obviously were always better than me growing up. And so it was fun watching and seeing you guys do the things you did on the driving range and on the golf course. And, I always felt like it was something that I could do too. I just had to keep working at it.
You set the bar high for him.
I did. I set it
extremely
high.
You created him. That's pretty cool.
You said it.
That's pretty cool.
You said it. But talk about Royal Oaks Country Club a little bit, because that's where you grew up. I mean, all of us were there. And now you're the guy that all these young kids follow around.
Yeah, it's fun being on the other side of it, but I really do. I have such great memories growing up out there where, I can't imagine how much I bothered you when you were out there in college and as a young pro, trying to make it. You had some kid just in your ear the whole time, asking you questions and trying to have chipping contests and putting contests and, hey, let's go play. And you're like, no, like I gotta practice, Scotty.
Well, now look, I get to return the favor and bother you all the time and ask you for interviews.
Can you come on a podcast?
So we're even.
Yeah, we're even. No, but it really is cool. It's a lot of fun. I felt like all the pros, yourself included, were always so nice to me growing up there at the club, and it's nice to be able to return the favor to the next kind of group of young kids coming up. And I'll just sit on the range there and practice with Randy, and the kids will just come up and sit with Randy in his cart and do the same things I did when I was a kid, just watch and make fun. And I know I'm out there practicing. I got to be on my A game, because if not, I'm gonna be hearing it from the peanut gallery out there.
Love that.
Stay on that same time frame for a while. You said I was a pretty good junior. You're better than pretty good junior. You won the junior am. I believe you won 90-something Texas junior golf events. Was there anyone, whether in Texas or nationally, that you considered like your rival in junior golf, or a guy that you really wanted to beat more than anyone else?
I don't know if it was necessarily like a rival, but the way that I grew up, I grew up playing golf with Will Zalatoris. We were the same age. We've been playing golf against each other since we were 10. Vince Whaley was another guy that I played against a bunch. But then I think it was really good for me growing up because, Jordan was a few years older than me, and then I grew up around pros at Royal Oaks that were always better than me. And I was always, I'm a hyper competitive person. So when I see somebody better than me at something, I want figure it out. And so it was great for me just to be able to sit there on the driving range and watch guys like Colt, Harrison Frazier, Justin Leonard, watch these guys practice and try to learn from them. And I always felt like when I watched them that I could do some of the things that they did. It was just a matter of learning them. And so it really was valuable for me just to be able to sit there and watch for years, watch how they practice, watch how they prepare, and really kind of just learn. Like I remember watching Colt, he hits it dead straight every time. I always felt like I was really good at hitting the little yellow pole there on the driving range, but then I watched Colt hit his wedge shots, and every one of them was, sitting right around the pin. I was like, man, I got to get, more consistent at that. Like Colt's a lot more consistent with the wedges than I'd watch, Harrison and Justin drive the ball. And it was like, this guy's almost, Harrison's at 300 yards. It never seemed like he hit off the line when he practiced. And so there was just a lot of stuff that I felt like I could get better at. And, that's why I never really thought I was that good, because I was always around people that were better than me.
Well, turns out you're pretty good. Best player in the world, and it's not even a question. You mentioned Randy Smith. A lot of people are at Royal Oaks because of Randy Smith. He's been your only swing instructor. Are you surprised at all, with all the success you've had and as great a ball striker as you are, that more fellow tour players haven't called Randy and be like, hey, you mind taking a look at me?
I mean, am I surprised? Yeah. I mean,
it blows my mind.
Randy is like, I mean, he's totally out of his mind, but when it comes to the golf swing, like, I mean, he is such a genius. It really is wild. He's like a little savant. I mean, I was out there before the President's Cup, and I remember telling Randy, I was like, hey, I'm trying something here, but I'm not going to tell you what it is. I want to see if you can figure it out. And he watched me hit like 5 balls, and then he pointed out exactly what I was doing. It was literally like the tiniest movement of my left hand with the grip, and he pointed it out within 5 swings. I was like, how'd you do that?
Yeah.
I mean, it just little stuff like that is crazy. And I'll tell him some stuff that I'm feeling in my swing sometimes. And like this year at the Masters, he gave me a swing tip on after the first round, where the first round I had played good. I'd scored really well, probably the best I did, or some of the best I did all year in terms of just like playing and scoring and kind of controlling my ball, where I didn't feel very good about how I was swinging it. And, I came off the course, and Randy was like, great job. How you feeling? I was like, my swing did not feel good today. I felt like I was kind of just scraping it around, and I told him what I was feeling, and he gave me one tip about, adjusting my grip slightly. And I hit a few shots, and it was like, the light bulb went off, and I felt what I wanted to feel. And then it was, kind of game on from there. I didn't have to think about anything else.
He has an incredible eye. I mean, I think if it was up to him, TrackMan and video and golf swings would have never came around, and people would be flooding to him.
Yeah, I mean, it is funny with the TrackMan and stuff, because I usually I practice with mine pretty much every day at home, because I'm always looking at distances and stuff. And Randy will if I'm ever struggling or something like that, I'll always try to like dive into the numbers, and I'll literally like take the iPad from him and be like, no, Randy, like we don't need any of this stuff. Stop looking at it. Like you and I don't know how to do this. Like we look at distance, and that's it.
Yep.
Yeah, and it works because you got 2 of the 3 best ball strokes gained seasons since they started keeping track. Like, I'm being serious when I ask this. When you go work with Randy, like, what left is there to improve upon on the full swing, not counting like short game stuff?
I think we're always trying to improve a little bit at a time, and most of it is when we're out practicing, making sure that I'm doing the ABCs and good grip, good ball position, good posture and setup, make sure my lines are good, and then after that, making sure I kind of get a good baseline for the day about making sure my swing's where it needs to be, and then from there we're just hitting and creating shots, and just trying to continue to learn how to control that little golf ball.
That's going to be scary if it improves.
Yeah,
because it is fun to watch. Tell us a little bit about your games at home. Obviously, you got tour players you play with. You got a football broadcaster that people like to slap around there in Dallas, and then you got just some beautiful characters there at Royal Oaks that you play with.
Yeah, I feel like I've got a good mix at home where I'm giving up enough strokes to where it stays really competitive, where I feel like when I go out and play, I have to go play well. And it's great having Romo here during the week, because I'll text him like, hey, I'm going to practice with Randy. I'll be out there Monday, Wednesday, Thursday. Do you want to play Tuesday and Friday? And he'll set up the game, and we'll get good players. And Jordan will play a lot of the time. Tom Kim's another guy that'll come and play good amount. Willie Z will play a bunch. And so we have good games during the week, and then on the weekends I can go over and play Royal Oaks and hang out with the guys. And it's a bit of a looser game because the guys aren't as good, but still a ton of fun. I mean, you know how it is in that Wolf game. I mean, it's it's just great, pure entertainment.
Better nickname, Big Cat or Lump?
Probably Lump.
God, is he the
Lump's
greatest?
the best. Yeah, Lump is. Yeah, he's awesome.
All right, before we get back to our interview with Scottie Scheffler, today's episode is brought to you by Epic Golf Club. Do you belong to a top-rated private golf club? If you're looking to elevate your golf game and lifestyle, Epic Golf Club is the place to be. As an exclusive invitation-only golf society, they offer a full VIP concierge service to handle your every need and white glove service at over 30 events a year at some of the most prestigious private courses in the world. Whether you're traveling or at home, Epic gives you that home club feel wherever you play with access to over 1,100 courses. Plus, you'll strengthen your network by connecting with the community of over 900 affluent members, both on and off the course. To join, you must be an existing member of a private golf club, so apply today at www.epicgolfclub.com/subpar to receive 6 months free dues if invited to join. Now back to Scottie Scheffler. We're talking about Tony here and you guys playing games. What have you guys done to him? Because I feel like, he was winning Tahoe. He was going to be the next dynasty. Now it's he's gone backwards a little bit. I've talked to him about it. Have you guys just crushed his confidence? What have you done?
I wouldn't say we crushed his confidence. I feel like the way his body is playing that many years in the NFL, he battles it every day. I mean, he brings his little hypervolt and his lacrosse ball and his bands out onto the golf course with him every day, and he's basically warming up the entire round. So really, I think it's just battling his body because he really is. I mean, he's a really, really good golfer, and if his body would cooperate for him, I think he'd be a lot better. But it's tough for him getting beat up for that many years playing in the NFL, and then he plays golf every day basically when he's home. I mean, he's playing golf all the time. He loves it.
How many checks you got saved up from him right now?
Currently none, actually. I haven't seen him in a while, but keeping the checks in the pouch is a very nice thing to have.
Are you guys are on a check payment plan over there? There's no cash.
No. I mean, check. There's been a couple times where Tony's gotten beat because Tony always has the most risk in the game. So when he plays good, he wins, and when he plays bad, he loses big because he's got side games with everybody, and he never declines a hammer in the wolf. Like he's a crazy man. And so when he loses big because if we're playing good, we're going to make a bunch of birdies and double the bet and do all that stuff. And there's been a couple times where he played where he's wrote checks to guys, and I don't ever go to the bank, and so I just keep it in my little pouch. And whenever I got to pay him back, let's say he owes me $1,000, and so he writes me a check for $1,000, and then the next week I lose 600. I give him the check. I'm like, all right, you owe me 400. And it is so much fun because he gets so mad. He's like, this is not real money. This isn't fair. I was like, Tony, it has your name on the check. This is what you gave me.
Yeah.
I'm giving it back to you now.
Yeah, just rip it up.
This isn't your real money. I'm like, this is what you did.
God, that is great.
It won't work with you, Scottie, because you don't care. But I've heard other celebrities, when they lose money, say they go have a random game in Vegas or something like that, and they lose, they'll write a check because it has their autograph on it, and they're like, good chance this dude never cashes the check. He'd rather just have, the story.
It.
Yeah.
Yeah. Good story. I don't think Tony's really banking on me. No.
Yeah, you're different.
Maybe he knows I'm not going to go to the bank. I don't know.
By the way,
anyways, it's fun.
Never change that. That is such a great move. Yep. Here you go. Now give me 400 back.
That's awesome.
That is a good. Well, it was obviously an amazing year. I mean, Masters, Olympic gold medal. I want to go to the Masters because we had Ted Scott on a few weeks ago, and he was telling us how just Augusta National and why you play so well there. It reminds him a lot of why Bubba played so well there. If you could describe it, what do you think it is about Augusta National that suits your game so well?
Well, I think you just have to really manage your way around the golf course. And there's certain areas where it gets so challenging on the weekend. Like the years I've won, it's been pretty firm and fast. And so controlling it and getting onto those little shelves, controlling the ball going into the greens. And I feel like I'm typically pretty patient on the course. And I think that suited me well around there. I look at this year, and this was a year where it was really tight going to the back nine, and I just hit some key shots kind of where I needed to and played the hard holes well. And I mean, on Sundays you really just gotta hit the shots. That's really what it comes down to. And some years I've hit the shots and pulled them off, and other years I haven't. But I feel like it's a place where if you manage your way around the golf course well, and it just seems like there's a lot of ways you can play it. You can hit it really good and putt average and be up there on the leaderboard on the hard years. And then you can hit it all over the place. And if you're getting up and down and you play the par fives, well, you're going to be right in the tournament. And so I feel like there's a lot of different ways to attack the golf course, but at the end of the day, when it comes down to it on Sunday, you just got to hit the shots. They put the pins in places where if you hit a good shot, you're going to score well. But if you miss the shelf, you're going to be looking at bogey. And so you think of holes like 14 where they put that pin, and if you miss it left, it's a really hard 2-putt. And you look at a hole like 16, if you kind of bail out right, it's a really tough 2-putt down the hill there. And there's just certain areas where you just have to pull off the shots. And I feel like in 2 years now, I've pulled off the shots when I needed to.
Yeah, and I feel like Scottie, clearly your game travels to any type of golf course, but you've won on shorter golf courses like Harbor Town, like TPC Sawgrass. You've won at Augusta multiple times, Memorial, longer, like totally different golf courses. If you had to pick, hey, this type of golf course is best suited for me, do you have one or a style?
I'm not really sure. I think I like the kind of harder tests. I think I enjoy those more just because you feel like you're almost getting in a battle with the golf course. Memorial is one of those places where the golf course is just so hard. Like I think about the back nine Sunday at Memorial, where there's certain holes where you almost couldn't hit the green. Like number 17, I'd be shocked if anybody in the afternoon wave hit the green that day. 16 is the same way, where there's just certain times where you just have to step up and stay patient and just battle the golf course. And I think those type of tests kind of excite me, kind of like US Open where par is a really good score. I think those tests are a lot of fun, but at the end of the day, I don't think it matters too much, but the hard ones I think are the most fun.
Man, walking with you that back nine at Memorial on Sunday, that was fun to watch because that place was brutal that day.
And it was nuts.
God.
I mean, so brutal.
Yeah, but that was probably one of my favorite weeks of the year at Memorial, just because of how tough it played and how well you played. It's your second Masters victory. Got to do another Champions dinner. Have we started thinking about it at all?
I have thought about it a little bit. I'm wondering if I should just have the exact same menu. I mean, it was pretty good. It was all my favorite foods. I don't really know what I could do differently. I think it would be kind of fun just to have the exact same food. But
there you go.
I haven't put too much thought into it, but we'll see.
If it ain't broke, don't fix it. They're gonna get tired of having that same meal. All that other past champions, like, God damn it, another one from Scottie. Let's go to another cool thing that happened this year that he did for the first time, winning an Olympic gold. That was cool. Seeing you get emotional, like you're a guy that it's well documented. You don't get too high or too low out there, but seeing you on the podium crying, did winning that gold maybe mean more to you than you thought it would going into it?
I think that I didn't quite understand what the environment would be like at the tournament. And, it's a normal Thursday through Sunday stroke play event. And we play 3 practice rounds, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday. And we don't see a single fan at the golf course. And so we're showing up to the tournament Thursday kind of wondering, like, what's this going to be like? Is there going to be nobody here? Is it going to feel like a tournament during COVID? People going to be going crazy? Like, you just didn't know. Like, is anybody going to show up? And I think I was anticipating more of a COVID-like tournament because it's the Olympics. There's so much stuff to watch. I'd be surprised if there was many people, going 30 minutes outside or 45 minutes outside Paris to watch a golf tournament when there's, swimming and gymnastics and all the other track and field and all the other sports you can watch at the Olympics. And we showed up to the first tee Thursday, and I was so taken back because there were so many people there, and there were so many flags from countries, and it was just really cool, so patriotic. And we had gone to some different sporting events at the beginning of the week, and one of the ones we went to was the women's gymnastics all-around final, and you see the U.S. win gold, and you hear the national anthem playing, and there's just so much pride in your country and in the performance. And you think about those girls that are standing up there with their gold medals, the amount of work they put in to get to that point. And I felt like I got so emotional on Sunday because the national anthem's playing, and it was one of those weird days where at one point it was almost like I wasn't even going to come close to winning a medal, and then all of a sudden I got really hot and ended up winning a medal, and you're just kind of sitting on the podium like, this is amazing. How cool is this? And I typically get emotional after my wins. It just happens that y'all don't see it ever because you kind of get time to get time to myself. But that time it was really went straight to the playoff, and then you went or straight to get ready for the playoff, and then you win, and then all of a sudden you're going straight to this award ceremony. And like I remember I cried after the Masters this year, but I did it on my way to walk back to the champions locker room, and there's nobody that could see it. I told him I need to go to the bathroom. I didn't need to go to the bathroom. I just needed 2 minutes to collect my thoughts. And, I went up there and, I just cried a little bit. That's how I am. And it just so happened that at the Olympics, I did it while everybody was watching.
Well,
I thought it was cool.
It was a great moment. There's no
Showed
doubt.
you care,
It was cool. You're obviously very good buddies with Tom Kim. Had to play him at the President's Cup a couple of weeks ago. What was that like? Because a lot of people, they were texting me during the President's Cup because you were fired up, barking at Tom Kim, which I thought was awesome. They're like, why does he not show this emotion more like in regular events? And tell us a little bit where that emotion came from and what it was like having to play your good friend.
Well, first of all, it was fun getting to play Tom. And I told him during the match, I was like, that was probably the exact same thing I would do at home if he made I think it may have been his first birdie of the match on 7. And I think it was actually my first birdie as well because Russell had kind of carried us at the first 6 holes. And, I think it was really Tom's first good chance for birdie. He knocked it in and he celebrated like crazy. And I'm like, if he did that at home, I would have done the exact same thing. If he made a 25-footer and started, talking trash and saying hammer and whatnot. And then if I made it on top of him, I would turn around and tell him, to be quiet. And so it was one of those deals where it's kind of fun. If it wasn't my friend, I probably would have never done anything or reacted. It just so happened that it was my buddy out there, and it was really fun. And then the stuff happened on the next hole, which I didn't even see. I saw the video after the day was done of Tom kind of running up behind me and flexing a little bit. And then I didn't even see them walk off to the next tee. That was I didn't even notice that because I was getting ready to hit my putt. And so at the end of the day, I think it's all in good fun. I enjoyed getting to play against my buddy, and fortunately, Russell and I were able to get a win there.
Yeah, that was really cool. I got to say one thing and I love Tom Kim, but we were actually talking about him on our SiriusXM show the other day, and I pulled up his PGA Tour bio. Okay.
Oh, Scotty,
Tom Kim has himself listed at 6 feet tall. Okay.
Where's the fact checkers at the PGA Tour, dude? This is misinformation.
Lie an inch maybe, but he's lying like 4 inches, dude.
I did not know that. That's funny.
And he has no weight. No weight next to his name.
No weight next to his name and 6 foot.
Yeah.
We'll have to. Have y'all had him on the podcast?
We had him on after the President's Cup last time. So this is something I kind of want to save it for the CBS broadcast when I get his group because I can have some fun with that one.
Yeah, that's fun.
6 feet.
He's able to list himself. Let him list himself. He can be over tall he wants to be.
Brian Harmon's going to be 6'1" next year. Oh, it's good. Scott, stay on the President's Cup for just a minute because the final score, I thought it was more competitive than what the final score indicated. A lot of those matches came down to 18. The U.S. just finds a way to win those things. But there was emotion like we're talking about. It got a little chippy at times, at least according to the media. At any point out there during the week, did you feel like anything crossed the line?
Did I feel like anything crossed the line on the golf course? No. I think it was a bit more contentious this week than it had been in years past. But I think it was good for the event. You look at a day like Thursday where there wasn't a ton of energy at the course, and the weather and the location kind of made it tough for people to come out. But then Friday and Saturday, the fans up there really brought it, and it was an awesome environment to play golf in. They were saying some stuff to us while we were playing, but that's what you get in an away team event. That's what people do. It's very rare to have a tournament where there's a crowd that's rooting significantly for one team. It never happens in stroke play because it would be bad taste for you to say something to somebody while they're over a shot or when they're getting ready to read a putt and they're yelling, hey, breaks this way, or you're going to miss, or hey, remember that putt you missed on 3, just stuff like that. Where when you go into away territory, you just know that's going to happen, and it's unusual. But at the same time, I think it's a lot of fun. I think it's good for the crowd to get involved. I think it's great for the tournament, and I think the energy that the internationals and their fans brought to the event was really good for the tournament.
Yeah, well, get ready for a rather interesting environment up in New York at Bethpage next year. I did see, though, this morning you are number 2 on the U.S. points list, so hopefully you can hold on.
God, I hope you make that team, dude. I really want you on that team.
How excited are you for Bethpage, that atmosphere, and to get some revenge after what happened in Rome?
Yeah, there's a reason it's hard to win on foreign turf in the Ryder Cup. It's challenging. But I'm excited to get back on home turf and get another shot at those guys. Obviously Rome did not end the way we were hoping it would end, but the Europeans, they played great, and it's one of those weeks where you just take your hat off and shake hands. It's great being in there and competing, but same thing at the President's Cup. stuff happens, guys go crazy and they celebrate and do all the stuff. But at the end of the match, you take your hat off and shake hands and you're still friends. And so I'm looking forward to Bethpage. Hopefully the fans will be respectful to the guys, but at the end of the day, we'll see how it goes. Hopefully I don't have to step in too much if things get out of hand, but hopefully it'll be a good environment. They'll be cheering loud for us, and hopefully they don't cross the line when it comes to the European players.
Captain Keegan will keep them in line. What was your reaction when you heard that Keegan was going to be U.S. Ryder Cup captain?
I was definitely a bit surprised, but the more I thought about it, I was just getting fired up. I think he's going to be awesome. Talking to him about the Ryder Cup, just catching up with him about it. I mean, he's going to be a great captain, and he's going to be passionate. He's going to make sure that we're in a position to succeed and go out there and play well. And I'm excited. I think he's going to do a great job.
I'm with you. I'm fired up. I love that they're getting some younger guys in there, even as the vice captains. I think it's going to be great for Team USA.
Yeah. I mean, that was exactly how it happened to me. I remember reading the announcement. I was like, okay, that was not the direction I thought they were going to go. And then I kind of sat there for a few minutes and I was like, wow, this is going to be awesome.
Yeah.
Like he's going to be really good. And then, we've sat down a few times and talked about it, and it just was confirmed even more. I mean, he's going to be amazing.
All right, before we get back to our interview with Scottie Scheffler, a quick note from today's sponsor, GolfLink. Have you ever been stuck on a golf course with someone you hated? GolfLink is the fastest growing social media app for golfers, designed specifically to help you find and vet your ideal playing partners so you never have to suffer through a random pairing again. With over 150,000 downloads, the GolfLink community is growing rapidly, and for a limited time only, you can invest in the one-of-a-kind platform connecting golfers across the country. This exclusive opportunity won't last long. Visit golflink.com/subpar today or download the app now to secure your stake in the future of golf. Act now and be a part of the technology that's transforming how golfers connect. Now back to Scottie Scheffler. Go back real quick, if you can, to your first Ryder Cup experience on home soil, Whistling Straits 2021. You were kind of like the controversial pick for that team. And then you go out in singles. You play then world number one, Jon Rahm, beat him. Fast forward to the beginning of next year, you're a world beater. Can't be messed with. How much did that match against Jon Rahm factor into that?
Well, I think being selected for that team was huge for me as in my growth as a professional. I've talked about it a decent amount, just how much it meant to me that the guys really wanted me on the team. That was really cool to get the vote of your peers. I remember getting selected, and then it's hard not to read the stuff because it's all over everything. It's like, I think it was maybe Kisner they thought should have had on the team, and there was a couple other guys that were close. And at the time, you could have easily put any of them on the team. Kiz has a great match play record, and Sam Burns was close. He's been great in the team events, and I think Webb was close that year too. And it was really us four kind of for that last spot. And I was fortunate to get put on that team. And when I showed up, I really did feel like the 12th guy. I was one of the younger guys on the team. I had never won on tour, world rankings wise and Ryder Cup points wise. I was the last guy on the team, and so. It's kind of interesting showing up, and then you show up and the guys are like, hey man, we're so glad you're here. We were all fired up. You were one of our locks. We wanted you on this team, and just hearing that from your friends and from your peers is really cool. And going out and performing and getting some points for our team was even more special. And it's different preparing, knowing what the most pressure feels like on the course. And so when I went home that off season, I knew exactly what it felt like to be under the most pressure that I've been under as a pro. And when you're able to succeed and play well in those scenarios, it gives you confidence. And then when I can go home and also prepare knowing exactly how I feel in those situations, it gives me even more confidence kind of going forward, knowing what I feel like and knowing that I'm prepared for, exactly what's coming.
Do you feel like a leader on those teams now?
I feel like we all have our roles on the team. I feel like a lot of the teams now are pretty young. Like this last President's Cup was different because we didn't have, Jordan and Justin, who have been on a ton of teams. Jordan always is one of the leaders because he's been on so many stinking teams. He's been playing the President's Cup since like 2013. And so this year was a little bit different where we had some kind of new voices in there. And I feel like I'm one of the quieter guys in the team room when we're all in there. But I feel like when something needs to be said, I feel like my voice is heard, but I'm definitely not, one of the louder voices in the room, if that makes sense.
Yeah, for sure. We could go.
Who are those guys that are the vocal guys? I'd be curious to know.
It depends on the situation. After what happened on Friday, Tony was pretty vocal. just kind of, we all kind of sat down, and I don't want to share a lot about what goes on in the team room, but I feel like in different situations, guys just kind of step up, and it's more natural. It's not like anybody gets in the room and they're like, oh, I need to say this. It's more like we'll kind of sit there and, somebody will say something. We'll kind of all just feed off that. Like this year, I felt like there was a lot of guys that we all kind of just looked at each other. You look at a day like Friday where we lose all the matches and we really didn't play that bad. It was just that they played so good, and you kind of sit there in the team room and nobody's really panicking, and we're all just kind of sitting there, and Cap's like, hey, let me know your thoughts. And, some guys speak, and I think most of the guys in the team room just said a few words, and that was it. There wasn't like it was one guy who was just out there saying, hey, we need to do it this way. We need to be doing this. You guys need to stay focused. Yada, yada, yada. It's more just like, hey, we got punched in the mouth today. Let's go out and, come out swinging tomorrow morning.
Love that. That's awesome. Well, it's been a hell of a year for you. Quickly, we got to get to the E9 before we let you get out of here. 9 fun questions for Scottie Scheffler. And we ask this one to everyone. Okay, you can be somebody else for a day. Get to walk in their shoes, see what it's like to be them. Who would it be? Anyone in the history of time.
Wow. Could go a lot of directions here. Mm-hmm. I think, since talking sports, I'd probably like to just see what it was like to be MJ for a bit.
Yeah.
Just to see how hard he worked and, the way he approached the game. And, I never really got to watch him in his prime or really watch him at all. I got to live it all through YouTube. And so I'd like to go back and just see what it was really like for him, see what it really took for him to be as great as he was.
Yep. That's a good one. Mm-hmm. Should we ask him the other one? He's a happily married man with a child.
I don't know if he...
I think the relationship can handle it. Do you have growing up, your celebrity crush? Who was it?
Gosh.
Had to have one.
I have no idea.
We had a... Who? Yeah. Yeah, doesn't have one.
All right, fair enough.
Yeah.
Fair enough.
Celebrity crush. Colt Knost.
Yeah, there you go.
He's too young. He's too young for Kelly Kapowski.
Way too young for Kelly Kapowski.
Kelly had like a monopoly, I feel like, on our age demographic, but he's a little too young. A little too young for that. All right, Scottie. I know you're not a social media guy. You're not online scouring all that stuff. So I need to know where you were the first time you saw the free Scottie t-shirt and what you thought.
I was probably like walking down hole 12 that day.
Yeah.
Was it that day?
Yeah. I mean, I saw some pictures with my mugshot pretty early in that round. I don't remember specifically, but I remember seeing it being like, dang, this guy's got those made fast.
Mm-hmm.
Fast.
Really fast.
That's flattering.
Ask him the next one since it's the same subject.
What's that?
Ask him the next one since it's the same subject.
What was the next one?
The Halloween.
Oh yeah, I'll give you the next one then.
Same topic.
It's since you're not on social media, I don't know if you know what's coming, but you will get some kids coming to your house this year dressed as you in Louisville, maybe with a partner, the arresting officer. Do you have anything special planned for them? Do they get like bonus candy? I don't know if you've seen it.
I did see it. I'm not online, but when something really good comes out, somebody will inevitably show it to me. And this time it was actually Meredith. We were coming home yesterday. We were flying home, and she was on her phone, and she just started losing it, laughing. And she turns around, she's like, "Look at this."
Can you imagine
really
if someone rings?
That's pretty good.
Yeah. Can you imagine if someone rings your doorbell on Halloween? It's 2 kids dressed as that.
It's going to happen.
I don't know what I did. I'd probably just give them the whole basket and be like, all right, y'all have fun.
Yeah. Give them a Rolex. There you go. Great job, kid.
You take it all. Take it all. You guys win.
Yeah. That's great.
It's coming.
All right. 2 of your best buddies on tour, Tom Kim, Sam Burns, enjoy much different meals. So I'm going to say you have to choose one as your last meal. You can have a Korean barbecue with Tom Kim or a Cajun Feast, maybe a crawfish broil with Sam Burns.
Oh, I'm going Cajun Feast.
Yeah?
Cajun Feast is tough to beat. Really tough to beat. Yeah. I get that from Teddy too. Teddy brings me a lot of Cajun food.
Oh yeah.
Because he's the real Cajun. Sam's from northern Louisiana. He might as well be from Texas. He's from up north.
Fake Louisiana. Fake. That's good.
All right, I'll stay on Sam Burns here for a minute. What's the closest you and Sam have ever been to getting into a fight? If anything rings a bell, we can give you a hint.
No, Teddy. Did Teddy tell you the story here at home?
Yeah. Pool volleyball.
I would say the closest we've ever been into a fight is when we're on opposite teams in something, but we've never actually been close to truly fighting. Like, when you're mad and you're fighting and when you're screwing around and you're fighting. that time we were definitely screwing around, but we did wrestle a little bit.
The ball was out.
Over pool volleyball?
The ball
Is that
was
correct?
Huh?
Oh, it was
The ball's definitely out. Yeah, Sam can be a little bit. You say loose with the rules. He can be a little bit loose with the rules at times.
Okay.
Not in golf and everything else.
Yeah, definitely in pool volleyball. A little liberal with the lines.
Yeah, a little liberal with the lines.
Is it true that Ted Scott has his own parking spot at the driving range at Royal Oaks?
That is true.
Can you explain? Because
Yeah.
people don't know,
Yeah,
you're kind of supposed to take a golf cart down to the range at Royal Oaks.
yeah. Teddy has never been one to lack confidence, and that was definitely one of his ones where I think the guy at the front gate told him, like, "Hey man, just go down. Go down to the end of the parking lot, and then I'll take you straight down to the driving range." And he's like, "Okay." So he just took his car and went down the cart path all the way to the driving range. And I saw him pulling up, and Randy was like, "Who the heck is that?" I'm like, "I know exactly who that is pulling up in his car right now."
And it's like you got all of 18, which is 500 something yards in the range. It's an 900 yard drive.
Easily.
He didn't figure out the cars weren't supposed to be down there.
It's probably 900 yards past where he's supposed to park in the parking lot.
It's beautiful.
He probably knew it, just didn't care at that point.
Yeah. Good
Yeah.
caddy, not a great driver.
Yeah.
Sidebar, this doesn't count as a question. Do you guys have a new number for next year's holeouts, being that the 10 happened like in week 5?
No, I mean, I'm still Teddy. He went to 10 each year, and I got it fairly early in the year. And he's like, "Hey, let's just keep it going. I'll give you for the next 10. I'll give you another whatever it was." And he just like stopped counting both years.
Has he paid you? He said he's like very slow to pay.
Which I didn't think was very fair. He just totally stopped counting.
Has he paid you for this year?
Huh?
Did he settle up from this year?
I think he did. Yeah.
Okay, he said he chose to slow play it as much.
I'm sure he did. Yeah.
Okay, just give him one of Romo's checks.
Exactly.
All right, my last one, Scotty. You only get one of these things. Only one of these things can happen, and it can only happen one time for the rest of your life. Okay. You get Texas winning a national championship or Dallas Cowboys winning the Super Bowl.
Oh,
which one are you taking? Oh, you only get one.
It's Cowboys. I've been asked that many times before, and I've been rooting for the Cowboys basically my whole life. And when I went to college, I didn't really know where I was going to go to school, and I love the Longhorns. I really hope they win a national championship, but the Cowboys have been giving me hope for 20 years now that we're going to get it done, and have failed. So I've got much more time invested in the Cowboys, whereas the Longhorns, I really only started rooting for them when I committed to school there. So I'm only 10 years into the suffering there, whereas the Cowboys I've been suffering for 20 plus.
Well, I
That's
think
fair.
It's going to continue this year, my friend.
Texas feels closer. Texas feels closer. at the
Texas is looking
moment.
nice.
Yes.
Yeah.
So we got some hope there, but the Cowboys,
Man,
we'll see.
you never know.
Yeah, dude.
We've had years
This
where
could be
we've
the
been
year.
great in the regular season and poor in the playoffs, and maybe this is a year where we kind of squeak our way in and then
Yeah.
and then get hot. So
Yeah, that's right.
we'll see.
That's what'll happen.
I'm not.
Always have hope.
That's what'll happen.
Yeah, exactly.
Get your hopes up, everyone.
I've been out this year. I'm just like, no, we stink.
Yeah,
Colt's
Colt's
going to
down
be a
on
short
him,
one.
dude. He's down in the dumps.
I'm not a Mike McCarthy fan. But anyways, next one, you mentioned playing Hammer, which for those who don't know, it's a little gambling game on the golf course where you can double the bet during the hole and everything like that. Craziest hammer you've ever stayed in. And I've heard a story and I want to know if it's true.
My memory for that kind of stuff is not the best, but I hate getting out of hammers. Like, I really hate getting out of hammers. And like, if I'm in the hole, like if you got a 6-footer and I'm chipping, I'm probably going to take the hammer because it's going to be so great if I chip that ball in and you miss your 6-footer. I mean, that's worth way more than the whatever we're playing for. So what's your story? Maybe I can remember. Maybe it'll ring a bell.
I was told that you and Sam Burns was in the group. He hit it to a foot, hammered. You stayed in and hold it.
That is true.
Oh my God, that is so gross.
Yeah, so we were playing. It was in Palm Springs. We were playing at Madison Club, and it was one of those nights where we kind of went out late, and we were just going to get a quick 9 holes in, and the girls are out with us. And it was a front pin on the 10th hole. We're both in the fairway. Sam hits it, nearly makes it to a foot, and he goes hammer. I'm like, yep. And I hit it behind the hole, and it spun back and went in. And the craziest part about that story was about 3 holes later, Sam holed one from the fairway, and we're out there with both our wives, and Meredith looks at me. She's like, is it always like this when you guys come out and practice? I was like, no, it's not like this at all.
That's awesome. That's
Yeah,
cool.
why don't you guys do this in tournaments?
Yeah. Well,
I think probably my best heckle ever though was, Pop at Royal Oaks.
oh yeah.
One of the backroom guys. So he'll come say hello to me on the range a bunch. And he was coming up one day on the driving range, and I think this one's better than the Hammer story. We're sitting there hitting balls, and we're kind of like midway up the range. So when you park in the back, he probably's got to walk 40 yards or so to get to our bags. And I see him coming up, and I turn around, and I look at him. I said, "Pop, you're going to be playing golf your whole life, and you are never going to hit a golf ball this straight." And as I said that, I took the club back, I hit it, and I nailed the black pole in the middle of the range, like 160, 70 yards out there. And Pop just turned around and walked home. Just left. Just walked back to the back. He's like, "I'm out. I'm never coming back again." I was like, I don't know if I'll ever be able to top that.
That's good. I like that. Pop is the best, by the way.
Oh, he's the best. He's the best.
All right, last one. I'll let you get out of here. Okay. I need to know which one of these two things you think is easier to get out of now that you've experienced them. Okay. Think it's easier to break out of jail or break your son out of one of those new fancy SUVs when you somehow can't figure out how to get it unlocked?
Well, shout out, Finn Ewing for the near-death experience for my son. I will say both times I did not actually do the breaking out of. I had a lawyer in Louisville, and then one of the guys at the airport helped me with a big like wrench. He actually busted the window. So
explain
both of them are pretty difficult for me to do by myself. I guess I'm fairly useless. I need somebody's help. If we're gonna go play golf, I need a caddy. If I'm gonna get out of jail, I need a lawyer. If I'm gonna break a window, I need a handyman out there helping me. So I guess I'm pretty useless.
Yeah, you can hardly do anything.
I mean, I don't think you can physically lock your keys or anything in these new cars. How did this happen?
Well, so Finn had loaned me the car to test drive, and so it's a brand new car, but I don't it's in demo mode, and somehow I think we figured it out. What happened was somehow somebody had accidentally hit the lock button on the passenger side door to the car. Closed it. Keys were sitting on where the electronic charger is for the phone. So I think it messed up the signal. It didn't know that the keys were in the car. And so we load up everything, put Ben in the car, I close the door, I walk around to the driver's side, and I just
try
to open the door, and it's like, wait, it's locked. And then I go to every other door. I start trying all the tricks I can think of, and the guys go inside, start looking for the keys because they're like, oh yeah, obviously no way the keys are locked in the car. You physically can't lock keys in the car anymore. And then all of a sudden, we're on the phone with the dealership, and it's hot out. And then, Bennett's stuck in the car. I'm kind of watching him in the window, and he made like one facial expression I didn't like. And I was like, no, I'll pay for the window. You guys just bust that thing open. And so I drove around the car for like a few more days, and then, they came and picked it up. But
hey, Finn,
yeah.
this thing's broken. You can have this one back. This one sucks. That is the best.
Here's your brand new car back. I'm sorry.
See, thanks, dude. I don't care for it.
That's why you never wanted to get one of these new cars. Those old ones work way better.
Yeah, I mean, it was just one of those weird scenarios, and I was just thankful we were able to get them out. But yeah, it was. I mean, they were trying to get on OnStar and create an account because, if it was my car, I'd have an OnStar account. And, we're doing all this stuff, trying to figure it out, but it was hot out, and all I'm thinking is horror stories, and then they were like, yeah, this is not worth the risk.
I thought the car was still running. That's why I thought it was kind of an interesting story, but now I feel bad that it was hot.
Poor guy. Tough.
Well, it was hot out, but when we opened the car, it was like the AC was running, but the car was not on. It was a really strange day and situation. But when we got in, it was like, wait, it's not hot. And I went over to the exhaust, and I was like, it's not, nothing's running. This is so weird. But fortunately, he was totally fine. I didn't have to bust the window, it turns out, but it was definitely not. The risk reward there was pretty significantly lopsided in terms of getting my son out of the car. So, yeah, sorry, Finn.
Moral of the story: stay away from those Ewing dealerships. Head on over to Sewell there in Dallas. Kidding. I love you, Finn. But Scottie,
we love you, Finn. Thanks, buddy.
Scottie, seriously, thank you so much for coming on with us, man. Congrats on a great season. You and Meredith had an unbelievable year. Welcome little Bennett to the world. We're really, really happy for you, man. And thank you so much for joining us.
Yeah, thank y'all for having me. That was a lot of fun.
All right, that was world number one, Scottie Scheffler, joining us on Subpar, man. That was a lot of fun. People don't really get to see that side of Scottie where he likes to joke around and have some fun. People don't know he's a great trash talker, but that's Scottie Scheffler right there. He's such a good dude, man.
Yeah, I think you heard him say we were talking about the Olympics, and on the podium he was crying. That was cool to see. We don't see a lot of emotion from him. He's like, no, dude, it's there. It's not in front of the cameras all that often. I win the Masters. I got to go to the bathroom. and he walks away to have a moment. We saw a little bit of it at the President's Cup, but yeah, dude, like he's a dude. But it's kind of refreshing to have a superstar in any sport, but in golf, it's like he's not on social media, he's not doing the video, he's not trying to be out. All he wants to do is just go play golf, beat your head in, and go back home. And he does a pretty damn good job of it, but it's kind of refreshing.
He does have some superstar qualities, though. He was 5 minutes late.
Yeah, I mean, who does he think he is?
Unacceptable.
Who does he think
Sitting here
he
waiting
is?
on him.
Yeah.
But I love the Romo checks. Keeping the Romo checks and then handing them back to him.
Yeah,
it's all-time move.
Hey, you owe me $400.
Yeah.
And by the way, with the amount of times his name has come up in this show, I feel like we need to have Finn Ewing on to defend himself, to defend his honor. Maybe we go to Dallas, get a little 10-minute, just, hey, here's who I am. Because his name comes, anytime we talk to someone from Dallas, his name comes up.
So I've known Finn for a very long time. I've gotten several cars from him over the years, and every time I leave and I pay, he'll call me. He's like, "Ooh, boy, we got you good." He's all time. He's one of my favorite people. I would love to actually do a pod with him. He's actually in a band called Finn Ewing in the Wrong Direction.
The Wrong Direction. Yeah.
He's a singer. He's actually performed at places in Dallas. He performs at the Byron Nelson. He's a special human. Let me just say that. And he's a huge golf supporter. His son is actually married to Allie Ewing.
Oh, is that right?
Yeah.
Yeah. We need to have him on. I just feel like his name's come up too many times that now the world needs to meet.
He's
Finn
like
Ewing.
McCord. When you say, "Here's Finn Ewing," he will talk for 2 hours straight.
Yeah, the 10-minute might be, we might have to stretch that just a little bit.
But get him a car that works, Finn.
Yeah, dude.
Good
Something
God.
that doesn't put his son in jeopardy.
All right. Well, thanks to Scottie for joining us, man. Love sitting down with him, and what a year it was. And I don't see him slowing down anytime soon.
Nor do I. And as we sign off, hopefully Kansas State covered. Who was your football pick last week?
I took the Buffalo Bills.
You think they covered
-2.5
as we
against
say
the
this
Jets.
now? You still like their chances?
I haven't lost yet this year.
Good point. Hopefully the Team USA comes back victorious.
Yeah, come on.
You know?
Handle business over there at the Bridges Cup.
Rock, flag, and eagle, bud.
All right. I hope y'all enjoyed that. We'll talk to y'all next week, Subpar.